release, revive, and realign. And it's so important, and I'm so excited. Everything that's happening right now with all the, planetary alignment and the full moon that happened, and then the new moon with the eclipse, and it's just getting crazy. In the winter solstice, we can feel our energies shifting and moving. And for those that don't, just imagine, even in the full moon, people get kind of drive crazy and things are weird. It's kind of that feeling, but it's amped up because all the planets are aligning to help us move through our fears and through our stuff to, get to a bigger and better and more spiritual path, or go right to your true self, your soul self. And so right now I have the privilege to be going to be talking with Robert Simmons. He's the author of Alchemy of the Stones. He's also the producer of Metaphysical Show Guide, and he is the owner of Heaven and Earth. So we have like the grand poobah of the rock world here, and I'm super excited. Robert, thank you so much for coming on with us. I'm so honored that you can be here.
Oh, thanks,
So,
McCall. It's a great
you're welcome.
time to be here too.
Isn't it? It's perfect. It's always aligned, isn't it?
Yeah,
So, real quick, I want people to know a little bit more about you. Can you, elaborate?
certainly. The center of my life, my work and career is concerned, has always been stones and their energies. Even before I was aware of stone energies, I'm a redesigner. And when I became aware of stone energies, it was because of Moldavite. And Moldavite, a potential know I had to feel the energies of the stones and ultimately to be able to communicate with the stones as beings and learn about their energies directly from them. So that's what my books have all been about. And that's what I'm really much more deeply into with my new book, The Alchemy of Stones.
Mm. Wow, that is awesome. You've always had the really cool, different, tiny little stones where I do all the big stones. So it's kind of, we really fit and share so many things in common when it comes to the stones. And did you know that when I first started feeling the crystals, it was a double terminated point, probably about 1 inch.
That's very interesting. I find that's true too. And I'd always have focused on the stones that seem to have the highest vibration and the strongest energies. And, that's where Moldavite started me off. But things like phenakite and azestulite and rosophia, which are the four stones I focus on in my new book, all of those, their importance had to do with what they did to my energetic body and what I felt they were for in terms of helping us evolve and awaken more spiritually. So, it doesn't really matter how big they are, it's how big it feels inside you when you sense their energy. So, you hearing me there, McCall? Maybe you froze. I don't hear anything. It clicked again.
Can you hear me?
I
Here
do.
we go. Sorry
Oh,
about that. Technical issues. Okay,
okay.
so now that we have that taken care of. So in the end run, believe the healer that was telling me how like I'm this master healer, she puts up a moldavite necklace. And I'm telling you, each chunk is like a silver dollar size, and there's probably about
Wow.
20 of them. And all of a
Wow.
sudden I went, and that was it. I was hooked. So I totally get it. The Moldova, I didn't know that you and me have a very, very synergetic experience. That's super cool. So
Yes.
tell me a little bit about this sneak peek, just a sneak peek about what you're going to do for 3 days. You have 3 days on release, revive, and realign on the alchemy of the stones. I'm super excited.
Well, I feel like the stones are allies. It's almost as though they're the angels of the earth, and they really want to help human beings evolve and awaken. And that's partly because it fulfills their purpose in the world too. So, in this 3 days, I'm going to give little that are kind of at the core of my work now in the new book. And on the day for that's designated for release, the first day, um, we're going to go into with the alchemy of releasing the things in ourselves that are pent up, that are frozen, that are blocked. I find that one of the things that we have happen is that we deny parts of ourselves, we judge parts of ourselves negatively, and that goes down into the unconscious, and it saps our energy to hold those things apart from ourselves. So on the first day, we're going to work with stones and with ideas for opening up and reclaiming and re-embracing all the parts of ourselves that have gone into exile. And that's a great release. That's maybe the biggest release we can do spiritually to move us along on our path much faster. And on the second day,
Wow.
yeah, on the second day, the revive day, we're going to work with stones that enhance that we bring other beings into our hearts because we exist in relationship with all other beings in the universe. And if we affirm and open ourselves to that relationship, that not only revives us, which it does in a very big way, it revives them as well. And one of the big things that's in my work now is teaching that we're engaged in relationship that should be love relationship with all beings in the universe and including the stones, the earth, everything that exists. We bring all that into our hearts, and I do that with stones that enhance what I call forgiveness. When we bring them into our hearts, that revives us and it revives them as well. Then, in terms of the third day, the realignment, that's kind of the big culmination. That's the ultimate thing spiritual alchemy always aimed at is the alignment of the human being with the divine. And that alignment is called in alchemy a conjunction. And it's so interesting because we're doing these 3 days on the days of the Saturn Jupiter conjunction. That conjunction is in our hearts as well. And that's what aligns us with the divine. And the third day, we'll be working with stones that encourage what I call the ascension of the heart, the bringing of the heart energy up to fill all the chakras from the heart to the crown. And the stones are ready to help us do that as well.
Wow. 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 Every day is going to be magical. I am so excited. I'm going to be watching with pins and needles because you know me, I love my stones.
Yes.
And I love you so much. I'm so grateful. You're our liaison in New Zealand. And I know that this is like in the middle of the day or the night. I don't really know right now, but thank you so much for taking the time and the effort and the love of humanity to coming here and being with us during this special moments, our 3 days of really, really releasing, reviving, and realigning. So I want to
Well,
thank you, Robert.
I love you too, McCall, and I thank you for doing the service for humanity that you do all the time and that you're doing with this event. And I really thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of it.
My all my best. Thank you so much. Everybody, please sign in. Come and meet Robert Simmons. I mean, he doesn't do these talks all the time. This is something that's very special. Come and sign in. It's free. Free. You know, you don't have to do anything. You just put your email or whatever and just come into our live streaming. go to rockourworld.com/meditation_event, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much, and God bless.